You do live?
Yeah. On multiple platforms. So, but I will also say you can say whatever you want, but they open the crowd. So,
Let's
shut down
to the front of the hall, to take your seat. To the front of the hall. Mansoor. English or Hindi?
I think it's in English. Yeah. Most of them, yeah, they're English speaking. I mean, there's a lot of Urdu speaking, but yeah, they prefer English. All the biography are in English. I think the next one would be the next one.
Yeah. If I can have one problem on my right side, on the question.
Same, but I mean, it's on the
If I can have the problem, if I'm looking for you, I don't know.
म्यूट कर देता हूँ जब शुरू करेंगे
बोलना है किसका
बड़ा शानदार
किस मौजू पर बोलना है इधर भी हाँ अच्छा ये ठीक है सही जरूर
Alhamdulillah, all of us are asked to see and also visit the groups that flow and present what the different departments of ICF are all about. We have the Internet Academy, one of the most significant academies in California, and a lot of people, the work of the departments in the Bay Area, in the time of Ramadan, majority of them connect themselves back with the Internet Academy, whether they study there, whether they go there, whatever they do. We also saw the big department of law and South Seven Department, both ICF and the India. We saw the department with out and out groups and big part of outworks. We saw the path, there was a process of being a Islamic school that had classes about making form with for the board. We saw the connection to the family, a move, area of values, and the and we want to district and work with the district. We have to learn from the youth committee about what the university they have done with the ability with the youth and go to the youth community. We also have a sisters with sisters program that are sisters part where the life and other we also have a sister staff. The word scout and the scout, the concept. And very now, I'm going to say and what the main objective of the life to hear from our senior I like to talk about this last to reflect the few verses of the last inshallah. Inshallah, the years in the language, inshallah, will be waiting for us.
No, there is okay. No, I don't think it's on. It's not on. Yeah. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون
وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين وقلنا يا آدم اسكن أنت وزوجك الجنة وكلا منها رغدا حيث شئتما ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Hafiz Imam, for that beautiful recitation. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed tonight to have two great renowned scholars of Islam with us. We consider these scholars our elders as they have years and years of insight and experience through teaching and propagating Islam. Our first elder, Sheikh Amin Kulwadia, and our second elder, Maulana Badruddin Ajmal. They will be imparting valuable lessons to us and gems to us that we can take back home. I request everyone to listen attentively and give their undivided attention to the words that the elders are saying. I say that they are our elders in the sense that we look up to them, and in the entire community of the United States ulama, Sheikh Amin, one of the elders of that community, one of the elders of all the scholars in the area, in the nation, is with us. So to introduce him, it's embarrassing. But so everybody knows Sheikh Amin Kulwadia, he is the founder, the president of Darul Qasim College in Chicago. He has hundreds of students around the world that benefit from his deep knowledge and his contemporary engagements. He is considered the elders from the fraternity of all the ulama in United States. And we are blessed to have him in our company. Without further ado, I request Sheikh Amin to give us some advice.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. Alhamdulillah, it's a great pleasure, honor, a humbling experience for me to be here in front of all of these great ulama, community workers, elders, children, ladies. MashaAllah, this is a sign of Allah's fadl on the ummah, that it seems that we are not lagging behind in our commitment to Islam, to learning about Islam, supporting institutions that learn and teach Islam. This is indeed Allah's fadl. May Allah give us more with barakah, inshallah. the realization that we are here in this country against the backdrop of atheism, against the backdrop of moral anarchy, that people don't want anybody to be their referee in life. People want to do what they want to do, the way they want to do it. And against the very, I would say ferocious culture of the world today. It's not just the West anymore, it's also the East. The culture, the climate, the environment in the East is just as bad as here. You travel anywhere in the world, you'll be hard pressed to find a Muslim quarter. Illa not. So against this backdrop, where we are, harassed by LGBTQ, we're harassed by atheists, we're harassed by agnostics. We have this, mashallah, crowd that is here for the sake of Allah, for the sake of the dhikr of Allah, for the sake of learning, for the sake of being together and asking for Allah's rahmah, etc. It is a huge ni'mah and a sign of better times to come. Quran says, "Yuriduna liyutfi'u nur Allah bi afwahihim, Allahu yutimmu nurihi walau kariha al-kafirun." That they wish to extinguish the nur of Allah through their tongues, through their actions, through their allegations, through their accusations, through their propaganda. But Allah would have nothing except to complete His nur, even though it may be very distasteful for those who disbelieve. So this indeed is a sign that Allah's fadl is still very much with us, and we can access Allah's fadl, Allah's rahmah, Allah's nur as much as we desire. No one is stopping us except us. In order for us to truly appreciate that, we have to appreciate the collective effort of the ulama of the ummah. There's another effort, the effort of the Tabligh al-Jamaat, which is a very good effort, it's necessary. But the effort of the ulama is what's going to keep Islam alive in this country. Knowledge. Because if there's anything this community, the American community, appreciates, it is knowledge. You go to any college, university, you'll see that people still appreciate people of knowledge. They still read, they still discuss, they still debate. So what we have to do in order to preserve Islamic knowledge is to build institutions. At the time when the British came and they made India Darul Harb, meaning the land of the kuffar. Shah Abdul Aziz declared the northern part of India is Darul Harb. So here Muslims no longer have any authority, they have no power. So he said, this part of India is Darul Harb. We have no authority left. We are now being ruled by non-Muslims, so we don't have any authority, power left with us. So Maulana Qasim Nanotwi, rahmatullah alayhi, as you know, one of the greatest scholars of the subcontinent, he sat down, he started thinking and said, what can we do now? So he asked the question, how do we preserve Islamic knowledge, Sunni Islamic knowledge in Darul Harb, in a non-Muslim country? How do we preserve it? This was the question. But he sat down and he thought that the only way to do this is to establish an institution where Ulama are made, ulama learn, ulama teach, and ulama preserve Sunni Islamic knowledge. Not amal. Amal comes after knowledge. Obviously, if you have knowledge, you'll do the amal correctly. If you don't have knowledge, you won't do the amal correctly. So he sat, he thought about it, he made mashwara, he made the sifara. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the doors of his fadl for him and for the people around him, and they established Darul Ulum Deoband. And what was the intent? The intent was to preserve genuine Sunni Islamic knowledge where? Not in Darul Islam. We weren't Darul Islam anymore. We were Darul Haq, Darul Kufr. So he came up with a very unique perspective, a very unique understanding through the du'as of the Shaykh Haji Darullah Rahmatullah alayh, and through the efforts of people around him who were the other ulama. And he established this great madrasa. And people started coming, people started learning, people started teaching, and the madrasa produced giants. Alhamdulillah. Muhammad Yaqub, Maulana Rashid Gangohi was with him. Maulana Thanwi was with him. Shaykh al-Hind is a product of Maulana Qasim Nanoti. Shaykh al-Hind, the great defender of Muslim rights in India. He fought against the British along with his student Maulana Hussain al-Madni. There's one on Shabir Ahmad Uthman, and there was just so Maulana Moshe Kashmir and so many great ulama that came out from Darul Deoband, that it preserved Sunni Islamic knowledge in India. And then other people copied his model. Other people opened up similar madaris throughout India. And after the partition, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and you had millions of students who were learning the same Islam. The problem today in the US and in the world is that everybody learns their version of Islam, their idea of Islam. But these millions of students, they learned the same theology, the same ideology, the same mafhum, understanding of Islam, and it spread. Now, how is it possible? It's only possible through institutionalized Islamic effort. You need institutions where you have one understanding of Islam, the mafhum, and you go out and promote one understanding, which is the Sunni understanding. And that's who we are. Now, when you might go to a place here on the East Coast where they have one version of Islam, you might come here to the West Coast, you have another version of Islam, you come to the Midwest and Chicago, you have another version of Islam. It's not monolithic, and at least the basic foundation of Islam should be the same, where everybody is united on basic principles, like the 5 pillars, like the names of Allah and His attributes, like the idea of the Qiyamah, Jannah, Jahannam. All of those has to be standard. There can't be differences of opinion in the basics. So what we are seeing here today, in this great attempt to standardize Islamic knowledge, you can only do that if you have, as I said, institutions at every level of life. At the kindergarten level, at the middle school level, at the high school level, and even I say at the college level is what our apostles did, standardizing Sunni Islamic knowledge at the college level. We're not confused about who we are and what we are. At the level of his, the great his program, as you saw. But the methodology and the approach is the same. What we are used to. what we have inherited from the earlier generations. So the curriculum that Maulana Qasim implemented was not new. It was always there in the Sunnah. It was always there in the predecessors. It is there in the time of the Mughal. So he didn't create anything new. There was no new course or subject in his curriculum, in his college. It was everything that was already there. He just represented it. And sometimes he would represent it. But that could only be done on the back of an institution. It can't be done through haphazard, unorganized, unstructured lectures or halaqas or hadaras. It has to be boxed into one system. And this system is vast. When I say boxed in, I don't mean there's kind of congested and you feel claustrophobic and you can't think. No. The Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was represented by the Sahaba. And where did the Sahaba go? They went everywhere. They went to Yemen. They went to Egypt. They went to Basra. They went to Medina and Mecca. They went to Syria and Iran. And they went as far as the Sindh. And then the Tabi'in, they went even further. They went all the way to North Africa and all the China. So they understood Islam in a very unique way. It's what I call al-mafhum al-Islam. The Islamic concept, the Islamic understanding of what Islam is. They took that understanding and delivered it to everybody in the world at that time. And then from that understanding, the knowledge came and people started to institutionalize what we now call madaris. Madaris, again, we sometimes, because of the British, what they did to us, and our thinking, we assume madrasa is something which is low life, kind of something you do after school. It's a maktab, it has no value, and there's nothing there to gain except maybe you read Quran and then that's it, finished class. That's the end of the madrasa life. The madaris and the madrasas were the first, listen to this, they were the first universities on the planet. If you go to Morocco, there's a place called Cairo, but that madrasa is the first university on the globe ever, historically. And you know what? It was built by a woman. It was built by a woman, a nice lady, Muslim lady, came from Egypt and she said, I want to build a university here. And she did. It's still there today. I was there a month ago. They're still studying. They still have classes and they're organized. So when we say madrasa, you must remove the post-colonial degenerate understanding of the word. You must lift your understanding of madrasa higher than any university in the world. That is when you'll learn. You know, in the madaris, how many years have you studied? And you can't say they're studying the same thing every day, every week, every month. MashaAllah, you go to Sunday school here. I taught Sunday school, so I know what I'm saying. You walk into the classroom and the bichara student sits on with his hand leaning against his face. Or is it going to be the same boring lecture we heard last week? Oh, it's Sira again. Oh, it's the Farad Wudu again. We're going to be bored to death. Why am I here in the Sunday school? That is not what happens in a madrasa. In a madrasa, it is grueling. You wake up at 7, And you go to sleep after Maghrib when you rest after Isha. We have 6 hours of structured instruction. Where you sit in a class and you're learning something new every class, every day. 6 days a week. So what do you think we're learning? It's not a place where you just relax and you have chai and you massage the teacher's feet and then that's the madrasa. It is hard work. It is grueling. It will make you perspire. When I came here to Chicago, very early, I said, let me see what this American Muslim is about. So I held classes, Arabic class, very simple Arabic. And I challenged all the IT people. I don't mean to bash the IT people. If you're IT people here, which I'm sure you are, you're Silicon Valley. I'm not bashing you, I'm just saying the truth. And I challenged them and said, you learn C, C++, all the languages of software, hardware, IT. I challenge you to learn the language of the Quran. They said, no challenge is big enough for us. But here, they came. In 3 lessons, they scampered. They left. 3 lessons it took. They couldn't do it. They said, Maulana, this is too hard. So what's hard about learn fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. Learn anazay. Maulana, it's too technical. So what about the technicality in your IT language? Not technical? So no, Maulana, this is a different type of knowledge. So that's my point. Before you start demonizing the ulama, and before you start minimizing the value of the knowledge of the Quran, come here for 1 week. I will prove to you that you're not capable. The only way you're capable if Allah's fadl is with you. This requires tawfiq from Allah. It doesn't require just simple praise. You need nur. You need a connection with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have to be chosen to learn this knowledge. It's not secular knowledge that you can sign up and then say, I'm going to be now the master of the Arabic language. It's a piece of cake. So, first of all, let's reform our idea of a madrasa as a madrasa. People downplay the madrasa. What you learn in madrasa? I'm saying this is what you learn. 6 days a week, 6 hours a day. You sit in class, you learn something new every day for 6, 7 years. The Prophet ﷺ came with knowledge. And he took 20 years, right? To deliver the knowledge of Allah. How does it take 20 years? It's just the Quran. No? Quran, read the translation, that's it. Let's go on. No, it's much more than that. It's deeper than that. It's about realities. It's about how we get to Jannah. You know what Jannah is? Here, you want to build a community which is safe. Is that true? You want to design buildings that are safe. You want to have an environment that is safe, pollution free. And you spend millions, if not billions of dollars in order to get there. And you don't get there. Jannah is a place where there is no harm, where there are no problems. You live in eternity. How do you get there? You can't get there by spending $1 trillion. You can get there only through the tawfiq of Allah. Your attachment to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's how you get to Jannah. A place where there is no harm. Salamun qawlan min Rabbir Rahim. There's only salam. Peace, peace, peace. Eternal bliss. No one says anything to harm you. You don't say anything to harm other people. There is no harm. How do you get there? To get there by being Muslim. But how do you learn the path? The madrasa teaches you the path by which you get to Jannah. Knowledge. The Sahaba had tremendous knowledge. So nowadays, some people, they go around claiming Sahaba had no knowledge. Do you even know what knowledge is? You have no idea. Ali Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, I was in the company of Ali radiallahu anhu, and he sat with us after Isha, and he started commenting on not Bismillah, not even the ba in Bismillah. He started commenting on the dot, the nuqta under the ba of Bismillah. And he finished when the Fajr Azan was given. That's knowledge. You have that. You get this on the internet. You get this by reading one hadith in Bukhari. No, it takes struggle. You have to perspire. You have to put all your effort into the knowledge that a madrasa offers you. Don't belittle a madrasa by saying, it's a waste of time. What are you going to learn after 7 years of doing Islamic studies? What you're going to learn is how to get into Jannah. It's going to save your butt from Jahannam. That's what you learn. Don't belittle it. Before we were colonized, all our studies were in the madrasa. Even the secular sciences were in the madrasa. We used to learn mathematics, astronomy, geography, chemistry, biology, medicine in the madrasa. Everything was one. We never separated knowledge. We didn't commit shirk in knowledge. Everything was one. That's where we learned everything. The great Muslim scientists in the past, they were all ulama. They were all ulama. They had this knowledge first. You had to go through high school of Islamic studies, then you had to go to the bachelor's level of Islamic studies. Then you went into your particular skill set and your field of interest and your expertise. Some people became physicians. Some people become opticians. Some people become doctors. But they had the basic standard knowledge of an alim. This is our civilization. How do you recreate the civilization? By investing in institutions of learning, whether it's primary level, whether it's high school level, whether it's college or university level, it doesn't matter. Investing in universities is the next step for Muslims in the USA. This is how you must think, because this is the only way you will survive the onslaught of atheism in this country. Take my word for it. Unless you teach your children theology, not theology, it's a big word. It's basic aqidah. Allah is one. Allah created Adam from dust. This is aqidah. This is theology. Until you teach them in middle school, in high school, they will turn against Islam when they go to college. They will. And I'm not shooting from the hips. I'm saying this because I know we have these cases everywhere. All these people come in. Students go, they're very good students in high school. They go to the first year of college. The first philosophy class they take will ask the question, does God exist? This will be the first question they are haunted with in college. Now, how do you prepare your children for that? By doing this amal and this amal? No, you need knowledge. You need substantial knowledge. You need to prepare the minds of the children so that they can withstand the pressure of atheism. It has to be academic, it has to be intellectual. That's the only way you'll be able to have a response, answer it. The other is you have your iman and your amal and your taqwa, that's fine. But not too many Muslims have that. They go in and they're lost. So whose responsibility is it to protect them and to prepare them? It's ours. What you need for that? You need a madrasa, you need a maktab, you need institutions, you need places where they can learn about Allah and Rasul. They need places where they can develop their love for Allah and Rasul. They need knowledge of the seerah. They need this and they need that. So institution building was always the hallmark of our civilization. Our civilization invested in institutions, all of them. And it didn't matter which type of institution. Muslims were so sophisticated and articulate that they felt they were the Khalifa, the stewards of the earth. So they had to do everything to protect everything living. There's, as you know, migration of birds. And just to give you an example, how far thinking, mashallah, Muslims. The migration of birds. So in North Africa, when you go to Libya and Tunisia, the Muslim worked out the pattern of birds migrating from North Africa into France across the Mediterranean. They worked out their schedule. So what they did is that they built aviaries, places where birds can be fed and be given water before they make the trip across the Mediterranean. And they would receive them when they come back. But the Musliman is the Khalifa of Allah. He takes care of everything. Everything is our duty, is our responsibility. Like Nuh alayhi salam had to take care of the animals. Likewise, the Muslims always took care of everything. Everything that was within their observation, they took care of it. Why? Because their responsibility, like this country does. This country takes care of everything. As you see, especially here in California, they take care of nature, they take care of animals, they take care. This is a huge service for the planet, because if you don't take care of the animals, you won't have a planet. They saw that as their Islamic duty. They weren't simpletons, and they weren't simplistic, and they weren't short-sighted. So when you have the ability to take care of animals, then I'm sure you have the ability to take care of human beings. Within their society, they had guilds. You know what guilds are? Associations for tradesmen, like unions. But it wasn't a union. It was much more benevolent than unions. Where if you were an artisan and you had a particular skill set, say in manufacturing, wooden stuff, you were a carpenter, or you were an ironsmith, or you were a goldsmith, you had guilds, association that represented you, and you had an emir in the guild. And they would take care of all of your negotiations in the market and everything that was needed in order to take care of the whole ummah. It wasn't haphazard. My question to you is that we ruled mashallah for 1,000 years. Do you think we ruled in a haphazard way? Or do you think we ruled in a systematic way? You can't rule for one day if you're not organized. It won't work. Like these institutions you have here, you have organization. Your shoes are somewhere, wudu time is different from prayer time is different from food time. You need organization, you need chairs, you need the infrastructure, the lighting, the microphone, you need the tables, you need infrastructure. If Muslims ruled the world for 1,000 years, what kind of infrastructure do you think they had? It wasn't a tawakkal ala Allah. It was, hands-on, taking care of business on a daily basis with their salat, with their zakat, with their sawm, with their hajj. Even in these ibadat, you need organization. You can't run hajj if you're not organized, as we all know. Right? That is why you need institutions, because institutions will then give you the necessary knowledge to be functional in the ummah. When you build a masjid, you need a mechanical engineer, you need an architect, you need a plumber, you need an electrician, you need finance, you need imam, you need a hifz school, you need students, you need instructors. Just building a simple masjid, you need all of these personnel, professionals. Where do they learn? They don't learn in a masjid, they learn in school. We have that system of schooling. We have the system of madrasa. Anything you want to learn, it was always in an institution. The word madrasa means a place of learning. That's what it means. And we had all these madaris everywhere throughout the empire, throughout the Khilafah. So if there's anything we must now take home from this great event that we just hosted today, mashallah, give them more with barakah, is that we must plan, we must organize, we must forecast, and we must build institutions, every one of them. You know, donate to a masjid, donate to a maktab, donate to a madrasa, donate to a college, donate to any effort where people are trying to teach people how to do something. So if you have, mashallah, somebody who's a dhakir, a Sufi guy, mashallah, we need those two. Don't get me wrong. Our path is a path of tasawwur. But the mercer person who's in dhikr in the masjid, he's not your electrician. He's not going to install your electricity in the masjid. You need an electrician there. You need everybody for the job, professional job. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, especially, they trained people for every effort. I'll finish with a khutbah that Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu gave to the Sahaba on his way to Hajj. So one year he went for Hajj and he gathered all the Sahaba and he gave them this khutbah. In the khutbah he said, anyone who wants to learn the Quran must sit with Ubay. Anyone who wants to learn fara'id and the knowledge of inheritance, they must sit with Zayd. Anyone who needs to know about what is halal and haram, they must sit with Mu'adh. You see where this is going? And anyone who has any problems with the finance of the ummah, come to me. I'll sort you out. What's he doing? He's saying that for every skill set in Islamic knowledge, there is a leader. It's not haphazard that you can go to any Sahabi and get any type of knowledge. It was professionalized. This specialization. This Sahabi specializes in this. This Sahabi specializes in this. And this Sahabi specialized. They were already organized. Naturally, because of the Sunnah. The Sunnah organizes you. So if you want to learn Waratha, then he didn't say, come to me. I'm the Khalifa. I know everything there is no Waratha. He said, no. Go to the Sahabi that the Prophet taught. And that is Zayd bin Thabit. Go to him. Don't come to me. So you see now this specialization, this institutionalization of Islam and Islamic knowledge is as old as the Sunnah. It's not new. We just missed the boat. That if the Imam is there in the masjid, you can ask him any question about anything. No, he has to be trained in certain things. And he should pay. Don't say he should know. He can't do everything. What he doesn't come to, he needs to be trained. He can be the imam, he can give you a dose of the Quran, he can do this and that, but he may not be able to resolve some community issue. If he does, that's fine. If he doesn't, then he needs training. The professionalization of skill set. That is the hallmark of the Sahaba, of the Tabi'een, and the Ummah that has come to us today. That we must believe in institutionalizing every skill that the Ummah requires. There have been fuqaha and usuliyun before Imam Ghazali, after Imam Ghazali, and they say that if in the community there is a need for a lawyer, I'll just give you an example, then the Ummah must provide a lawyer. If in the Ummah a doctor is required, then the Ummah must provide a doctor. If in the Ummah an accountant is required, then the Ummah must provide an accountant. Everybody has a responsibility to learn and then to teach. That's how one civilization grows. You can't knock one skill set because of another. The Ummah is fard kifaya. You must have these people in your community. That's how the community becomes independent. That they don't need to go to non-Muslims. They can have their own in-house within the Ummah, mashallah, skill sets that we benefit from each other. That's called ta'awun. Ta'awunu ala al-birri wal-taqwa. You should have mutual cooperation to establish the Ummah as a whole, not piecemeal, as a whole. That requires institutions. That requires, if you have here, you have a Hifz school, you have an Arabic school, you have a masjid, you have these programs, you have these programs, you have other schools, you have Muslim schools, and the Muslim schools, they have high schools, and everything else that is required to develop an Ummah. This is the way forward. Once we have this idea that we must participate somewhere, somehow, in some institution building, and become part of it, participate in it yourselves, and more than that, fund it. Fund it. It is, again, an indictment against the Ummah, in my humble opinion, that we need to fundraise in the masjid for masjid expense. To me, that's disgraceful. It is embarrassing. It is humiliating. But you have a masjid in Allah's house, and you're standing there every Friday. We don't have money for the masjid expenses. You take care of your house. Why can't you take care of Allah's house? Because there's no attachments to Allah. There's no love for Allah. There's no love for Rasul. That's what's lacking. If you have the love for Allah and Rasul, mashallah, I'm sure they are very wealthy businessmen in the community who can take care of the masjid expense for himself. The fact that we have to fundraise aggressively, especially in Ramadan, means we're lacking. We don't have that fikr, the concern that we need. But alhamdulillah, there's hope. The younger generation are coming in with a lot of zeal, a lot of value for Islam. Inshallah, they'll make a change and they'll make a difference, inshallah. But the niyyah has to be there. I'll stop here. MashaAllah. Hazrat is here next to me. I shouldn't be talking too much. But Jazakumullah khair for listening. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. We make dua Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our children. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the kufr and everything else. And we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us, inshallah, Fatima bil khair, blessed endings, and allow us to enter Jannah, inshallah, collectively without an hisab. Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin.
आपके मुबारक अल्फाज सुनने थे ना, वहां नहीं सुना पाया था।
आपके सुनने
अच्छा,
ये खास वाला अक्सर है। अगर इससे आपके पास लोग देखे हमको तो मालूम नहीं था यहाँ मिलने वाला, अच्छा के पास है, बहुत ही खास अक्सर है, लगाया हाँ ये अजर अजीज का आपको देखे, हम लोग को नहीं मालूम यहाँ मिलने वाला।
उनके खलीफा हैं। डॉक्टर साहब
Inshallah, just a few announcements before our next elder. In the sister side, especially, if you can keep the voice down. If there are children, you can use the babysitting services. We have other areas where there are women that are never listened to, please try to keep the voice down so that everybody can listen to the advices and take benefit. Our next elder is Maulana Muhammad Badruddin Ajmal, and Maulana Badruddin Ajmal is known to be from the trustees of Darul Deoband, the trustees of Darul Ulama, and also on the board of Muslim First Law. He's also known for his reform and establishment of university institutes, a lot of notable works such as establishing schools, universities, clinics, hospitals, and much more in the different parts of India. Now, I would like everybody to give their undivided attention and to focus on the words of Maulana Badruddin. He will be speaking in Urdu language. Inshallah, he will be also quoting with the dua before Maulana. Without further ado, inshallah, Maulana Badruddin.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह नहमदुहु व नस्तईनुहु व नस्तगफिरुहु व नतूबु इलैहि व नतवक्कलु अलैहि व नऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिन शुरूरि अंफुसिना व मिन सय्यिआति अअमालिना। मन यहदिहिल्लाहु फला मुडिल्ल लहु व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन रसूलुल्लाह व अशहदु सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। وقال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ورب القرآن الحكيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خير ممن تعلم القرآن وعلمه أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. मोहतरम हमारे सबसे बड़े मुफ्ती हजरत मौलाना तशरीफ फरमा है। बड़ों के सामने बोलना बहुत शरारत की बात भी है, लेकिन उम्मीद ये रहती है गलती करेंगे अपने घर में करेंगे, अगर पकड़े गए तो ये समझा देंगे, कल बाहर जाके गलती करेंगे तो शर्म देंगे।
गलती हमारी सही बात तो गलती भी हमारे नसीब।
गलती को कैसे आप कबूल करेंगे? उम्मत गलती करे, नबी वहां बैठा वो मान लेगा तो लोग उसी को मानने के मसला नहीं होगा ना। क्यों इख्तिसाम, ठीक है ना? गलती करेंगे तो पकड़े जाएंगे, इस्लाह रुजू करेंगे, तौबा करेंगे अल्लाह से। जी भाई, अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, जहां तक मुझे मालूम है, अपने मदरसे में मदीना मुनव्वरा में सबसे पहले काम ये किया कि असहाब सुफ़ा का मदरसा कायम, जिसमें हज़रत इब्न सीरीन रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने 101 तलबा का नाम जिक्र किया है और मुख्तलिफ लोगों ने अपने अपने हिसाब से। पहला मदरसा जो इस्लाम का कायम है, उसमें 101 तलबा हाजिर थे और वो मुख्तलिफ दुनिया के जगहों से आए हुए थे, भूखे थे, प्यासे थे, कपड़े नहीं होते पहनने को, भूख की वजह से बेहोश हो जाते, लोग उनको जूते सुंघाते, समझते थे कि उनको मिर्गी की बीमारी हो गई, लेकिन हकीकत में वो कहते हैं कि हम तो भूख की वजह से तड़प गए। वलनब्लुवन्नकुम बिशैइन मिनल खौफ वल जुअ नसीब मेरा लौटाल पर आए। ये इश्क नहीं आसान, इतना तो समझ ना था कि पाक का दरिया है और डूब के जाना है। तलबा आशीष मुरब्बी साहिबान, अगर ये निजाम अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से अल्लाह ने शुरू न करवाया होता और वक्तन फवक्तन साहबा जो पूरी दुनिया में फैल गए थे रिजवानुल्लाह अलैहिम अजमाइन, कमोबेश 1,24,000 साहबा किराम जो हमको रिवायत से मिलता है हज्जतुल विदा में अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के साथ थे। और आपने आखिरी खतरे में आखिरी अल्फाज में ये हुजूर सलाम फरमाया था, फलीबल्लिग शाहिद गायब, जो यहाँ हाजिर है वह अपने गायब को पहुंचाए। बल्लिगु अन्नी वलो आया, चाहे एक ही आयत हो लेकिन मेरी तरफ से उसको पहुंचाओ। ये अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की वो हिदायत थी। तारीख मदीना के मुसन्निफ लिखते हैं कि कमोबश 124,24,000 साहबा किराम से बूढ़े, माजूर, बच्चे, ये लोग रह गए मरने के लिए, जो 11,000 से ऊपर उनकी तादाद नहीं मिलती उनको। बाकी सब के सब बल्लिगु अन्नी वलो, अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की इस पाक हिदायत में लेकर पूरी दुनिया में फैल गए। और वो साहबा जिनके बारे में अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाया, अस्हाबी कन नजूम बिअय्यिहिम इक्तदैतुम इहतदैतुम, मेरे साहबा कन नजूम है, सितारों के मानंद है, जिसकी भी पैरवी करोगे हिदायत पाओगे। वो साहबा जिनके बारे में अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम कुरान पाक में अल्लाह ने गवाही दी, वरज़ू अन्हुम रज़ी अल्लाहु अन्हुम वरज़ू, वो अल्लाह से राजी हो गए, अल्लाह उनसे राजी हो गया। इससे बड़ी सर्टिफिकेट और कोई हो नहीं सकती। ये साहबा किराम जो अस्हाबी नजूम थे, कहाँ मरेंगे किसी को फिक्र नहीं, भूखे मरेंगे, प्यासे मरेंगे, दरिया में मरेंगे, सहरा में मरेंगे, जंगलों में मरेंगे, कोई फिक्र नहीं। बस एक ही फिक्र थी कि मेरे नबी क्या फरमाया सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम। ये इश्क नबी का वो आखिरी मौजज़ा था सबके ऊपर। हर से जो दिल से निकलती है, जो बात दिल से निकलती है असर रखती है। हर चीज दिल ले सक पर दिल खे सक, जो दिल से बात निकलती है वो दिल के ऊपर लगती है जाकर चोट। साहबे किराम को ये चीज, ये अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की वो हिदायत और ये कहना कि मैं शायद आइंदा तुमसे न मिलूं, तुम्हारी आके हमारी ज़ियारत मेरे कब्र के ऊपर, निकल गए दीवाना मार पूरी दुनिया में। अगर वो साहबे मदीने की फजीलत वो हमसे ज्यादा नहीं जानते थे, मक्के के क़याम की फजीलत वो हमसे ज्यादा नहीं जानते थे। नबी अलैहिस्सलाम जहाँ रहेंगे हम मरेंगे, अपनी जिंदगी दे देंगे, इसकी फजीलत वो हमसे ज्यादा नहीं जानते थे। यकीन हमसे लाखों करोड़ों ज्यादा जानते थे, लेकिन अल अम्रु फौकल अदब वल अम्रु लिलवुजूब, अम्र हुक्म अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, निकल जाओ, फैल जाओ। किस लिए? मेरे दीन को फैलाने। जिसको जो हाथ पड़ा, जो आयत हाथ में पड़ी, वो उसको लेके निकल गया। आज अल्लाह बिल्लाह उनके कब्रों के ऊपर, किसके कब्र के ऊपर हाईवे रोड चल रहा होगा हमें नहीं पता, किसके कब्र के ऊपर लोगों ने बाथरूम बनाया होगा, टॉयलेट बनाया होगा, हमें नहीं पता। अल्लाह बिल्लाह, क्या इस टॉयलेट बनने से उनकी आखिरत का जो सफर है उसको मुतासिर हो जाएगा? इंशाअल्लाह यकीनन नहीं होगा। और रहेंगे वही साहबा, बल्कि उनका दर्जा और बुलंद होगा। मुझे एक साहब ने पूछा तो मौलाना ये बताइए, मेरी तबीयत बहुत चाहती है कि मैं मदीने में हिजरत कर जाऊं और यही रहूं, यही मरूं। मैंने कहा भाई, अगर आप आलिम दीन हो वाकई, तो नंबर 1 फली बल्ले शाहिद भाई, और बल्लुगु हमने बड़ा उपाय है। जो हुकूमत के ड्यूटी वाले लोग होते हैं, वो हुकूमत के बादशाह के घर के नीचे, वजीर आजम के घर के नीचे नहीं रहते कि उनको रोजाना चेहरा दिखाए और वो समझे ये मेरा बड़ा वफादार है। वफादार वो माना जाता है जो बादशाह के हुक्म की तामील पहाड़ों में, जंगलों में खड़े होकर इस्लाम के किले की हिफाजत करता रहता है, जान दे देता है। वो असली वफादार है। आप अपनी जगह पे काम करते रहिए, आपकी नीयत है, आपको यहां से उठना, यही आपकी मौत होनी है, अल्लाह कादिर है। हमारे बड़े बड़े अकाबिरीन ने, हजरत मौलाना सकरी साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, और कैसे कैसे अकाबिरीन रहमतुल्लाह अलैह हिजरत करे, लेकिन कब? जब दो मिसालें बड़ी बड़ी हमको मिलती है करीब के साहतों में। हजरत शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह मदीने तैयबा में 40 साल से दर्स बुखारी, दर्स हदीस ने, वो यहाँ से हुक्म की वजह से वहां चले गए। और मौलाना ज़करिया साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, अल्लाह इन दोनों हजरात के और तमाम अकाबिरीन की खबरों को नूर से भर दे, वो वहां से यहाँ चले आए, लेकिन बगैर इजाजत के नहीं। हजरत खुद लिखते हैं कि अफ्रीका में, लंदन में जो पहली मरतबा आया, तो कब्र मुबारक से इशारा मिला तो गए, इशारा मिला तो गए। आज पूरा लंदन आबाद हो गया, अफ्रीका आबाद हो गया। हजरत रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, मौलाना ज़करिया साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, उन असफार से आज दिन यहाँ अगर जिंदा है, यहाँ से औलिया किराम पैदा होंगे इंशाल्लाह, अपने वक्त के बड़े बड़े वली पैदा होंगे, लेकिन पहली मोमबत्ती किसने जलाया? ये हमारे अकाबिरीन है। इसलिए मैंने उनसे कहा कि आप जाइए, आप खुलूस से दीन का काम करते रहिए। आपकी मौत कहीं और मुकद्दर है, मौत होगी, लेकिन अल्लाह ताला आपके नाश को उठा के इंशाअल्लाह इसी मदीने में जन्नतुल बकी में आपकी तदफीन होगी। आप यकीन रखिए, नहीं तो अल्लाह उससे पहले आपको बुलाएगा। हमारे आसाम में शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के खलीफा, बहुत ही खलीफा है, जरा बड़े अजीब किस्म के, 50 साल शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने मदीने से हुक्म दिया, जाओ अहमद अली, बासकंडी आसाम में एक जगह है, कुछ नहीं है, मुसलमान नाम के हैं, कोई सहारा देने वाला नहीं, एक वक्त खिलाने वाला नहीं, जाओ वहां जाके दीन की खिदमत करो। इससे पहले शेखुल रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, जो हजरत के खास उस्ताद थे, एक दिन असर के बाद मैं तमाम बड़े बड़े खुलफा को शेखुल रहमतुल्लाह अलैह बुलाया और कहा कि देखो, आसाम बंगाल से खत आया है, वहां लोग मुर्तद हो रहे, वहां लोग मुर्तद हो रहे हैं। मैं चाहता हूं मौलाना शबीर अहमद साहब उस्मानी जैसे लोग उस मजलिस में थे, और बड़े बड़े अकादिरी, मैं चाहता हूं आप लोगों में से कोई वहां जाए, मेरी दुआएं आपके साथ है, आप वहां जाके इब्तिदात के फितने को रोके, सब सच चुका नहीं। क्यों? मालूम था आसाम बंगाल में जेब भरने के लिए हदिये का पैकेट नहीं मिलेगा, रोजाना मुर्गे खाने को नहीं मिलेंगे, मछलियों की दावत नहीं मिलेगी, गरीब है, वो खुद भी नहीं खा सकते, आपको भी भूखा रख सकते। हजरत शेखुल रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह की तरफ देखा, हजरत ने आखिरी जो तकरीर की वो क्या किया, हजरत ने किस तरफ इशारा किया? तो हजरत ने शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, शेखुल अरब वल अजम मदनी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह की तरफ इशारा किया और फरमाया कि आखिर अपने को अपने ही की तरफ झुकना। इशारा किया, क्यों? कि मेरा सबसे प्यारा शागिर्द है, इसको जानना होगा और मेरी दुआएं उसके साथ काम करेगा। उस एक आवाज के ऊपर शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह ने उफ नहीं किया। वाकई जैसे उस्ताद वैसे शागिर्द। निकल गए, मुरादाबाद पहुंचे, वहां से 250 किलोमीटर 300 किलोमीटर होगा। इत्तला मिली तो शेखुल इस्लाम शेखुल रहमतुल्लाह अलैह दुनिया से तशरीफ ले गए। अपने उस्ताद का चेहरा देखने के लिए देवबंद तशरीफ लाए, लेकिन घर नहीं गए। तशरीफ ले गए लेकिन घर नहीं गए। वहां से वह मुश्किल जो लोग जा चुके हैं 200-250 कदम 300 कदम, घर नहीं गए। वहीं से वापस स्टेशन गए और हजरत के सफर पे, जिस पे हजरत ने भेजा। यही हाल था सहाबे किराम का, सब पूरी दुनिया में फैल गए। फंतशरू फिल अर्द वब्तगू मिन फज़लिल्लाह, अल्लाह के दीन को मतलब बल वो आदमी मतलब आया है। एक सर्रा एक आयत भी अगर हो तो उसको पहुंचाओ। इस जज्बे से शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह वहां पहुंचे। और आज बंगाल, आसाम, आज का बांग्लादेश, पहले का मुनक़सिम पाकिस्तान, अल्लाह ने उनको इर्तिदाद से बचा लिया। लाखों लोग मुर्तद हो जाते, पता नहीं वो स्टेट का स्टेट इस्लाम से खाली हो जाता। मैंने अपने कानों से सुना, शेख माना यूनुस साहब रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते थे, मौलवी बदरुद्दीन शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह का वो सफर नहीं होता शेखुल हिंद रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के इशारे से। जिन इलाकों से शेखुल इस्लाम गाड़ी में सो के गुजर गए, वहां भी इस्लाम फैल गया, मदारिस कायम हो गए। वहां भी इस्लाम फैल गया, मदारिस कायम हो गए। और जिन इलाकों में शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के साथ बदतमीजी की गई, बेअदबी की गई, हजरत को उन इलाकों में लेकर नहीं गए, आज भी उन इलाकों में मदरसे कायम नहीं है, दीन नहीं है। इतना तक है कि कोई मर जाए तो कब्र पे लिख के रख देते हैं कि कोई मौलवी साहब अगर इधर से गुजरे, इस आदमी का जनाजा पढ़ाने वाला हमारे गांव में कोई नहीं था, आप लोग इसका जनाजा पढ़ाते जाइए। ये थी उन बुजुर्गों की कुर्बानियां, ये थे वो लोग। आज बंगाल, पाकिस्तान, बंगाल और असम और वेस्ट बंगाल, तो बंगाल कहलाता है, अगर मिलाएंगे सबको मुसलमानों की बहुत बड़ी तादाद, और सब शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह अलैह के मरहूम मिन्नत भाई। मैंने उनसे यही कहा, उस शेखुल हदीस रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने मुझे सुनाया, अपने कान से मैंने सुना कि मौलवी बदरुद्दीन उनको इल्हाम बहुत होता था, जबरदस्त मुकाशफा था। सामने से कोई चला आता, उसके दिल में जो इरादे होते हैं अल्लाह ताला वो देख के मुस्कुरा देते। कोई वक्त जाया करने वाला आदमी आता, जाओ 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 मस्जिद में जाओ, अल्लाह का जिक्र करो 75,000 अल्लाह का जिक्र इसको साथ करो, फिर आना। जाता तो फिर नहीं आता, समझ जाता था कि मैं पकड़ गया। चेहरा देख के लोगों को बातों को बता देते थे। यही शेखुल इस्लाम रहमतुल्लाह। फरमाया कि मौलवी बदरुद्दीन, अल्लाह ताला ने मुझे अपने इन आंखों से दिखाया है कि पूरी दुनिया में हजारों लोग मदीने के बाहर दुनिया के किसी कोने में मर रहे हैं और उनकी लाशें सब उठा के मदीने में पहुंचाई जा रही। वो सब के सब उनकी लाशों को जन्नतुल बकी में लाया जा रहा है। और मदीने के रहने वाले वो लोग जिनका दिली अकीदा और मोहब्बत मुसलमान से नहीं थी, मदीने से नहीं थे। अलमरउ मा मन अहब्बा, इंसान का हश्र वही होगा जहां उसके साथ उसकी मोहब्बत हो। हज़रत ने वाकया सुनाया कि एक शख्स मदीने में मरा, इमाम था, किसी जरूरत से उसकी कब्र को खोलनी पड़ी। ये वाकया सुना है, अखबारों में बहुत आया उस जमाने में। जब इमाम साहब की कब्र को खोला तो उसमें खूबसूरत नौजवान ईसाई लड़की सोई हुई थी। तलाश में गए तो क्या हुआ, इमाम साहब की लाश कहाँ गई? इमाम साहब की 40 साल इमामत की मदीने में, हरम में नहीं, मदीने में। मालूम हुआ वो इमाम साहब की लाश उस लड़की के गांव में, उस कब्रिस्तान में, क्रिश्चियन के कब्रिस्तान में जाके इमाम साहब की लाश मिली, और उस बच्ची की लाश मदीने तैयबा में मिली। हजरत ने फरमाया मैं देख रहा हूं अपनी आंखों से, सैकड़ों लोगों की लाशों को वहां मुंतकिल किया जा रहा है, और सैकड़ों लोगों की लाशों को यहाँ। अलमरउ मा मन अहब्ब। जिसके साथ हमारा ताल्लुक होगा, जिसके साथ हमारा दिल का ताल्लुक होगा, लाशों को पहुंचाया जाएगा। और हजरत ने यह भी फरमाया कि मैंने खुद देखा है कि मेरे वालिदैन की लाश जो हमने गांव में दफन किया था, उनको उठा के ले जाकर मदीने तैयबा में जन्नतुल बकी में पहुंचा दिया। मैंने ख्वाब देखा मेरी वालिदा के इंतकाल के बाद, मैं गाड़ी लेके जा रहा हूं, मेरी वालिदा गाड़ी में बैठी हुई इंतकाल के बाद, तो उनकी पहचानने वाली एक मास्टरनी थी, टीचर थी, उन्होंने हाथ दिया, ड्राइवर ने गाड़ी रोकी, वो करीब आई, तो अम्मी को देख के हैरत, क्या आप इस गाड़ी में, आप तो मर गई, आप कहाँ रहते आजकल? साफ लफ्जों में मैं देख रहा हूँ, आप तो मर गई, आपका इंतकाल हो गया, आप कहाँ रहती है, यहाँ कैसे आ गई? गाँव में, आसाम के गाँव। तो मेरी अम्मी ये कह रही है मुझे अल्लाह ने अपने फजल करम से मदीने तैयबा में पहुंचा दिया, मैं आजकल जन्नतुल बकी में रहती हूँ। सुभान अल्लाह। तो वो औरत टीचर अगले सीट पे बैठना चाहती थी, अम्मी ने मना कर दिया कि तुम इस सीट पे मत बैठना। बहुत जल्द इस सीट के ऊपर मेरे सबसे चहेते मेरे प्यारे वालिद साहब का नाम नहीं बताया, उनको मैं इस सीट पे बिठाऊंगी और वो भी मेरे साथ जाए। तो ये है हमारा दिल। कुछ भी हम कर लें, अपने दिलों की हिफाजत करें। जहां दिल होगा वहीं हमारा हश्र होगा। मुझे पूरा यकीन है इन चीजों से कि जितने भी साहब इकराम रिज़वानुल्लाह अलैहिम पूरी दुनिया में कहां मर गए, ताबईन, तबे ताबईन, औलिया किराम, जिनकी कब्रों को आज लोग पूज रहे होंगे, लेकिन इंशाअल्लाह यकीनन 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 उनके नाश को अल्लाह ने मदीने तैयबा में पहुंचा दिया होगा, उनके कल्ब के हिसाब से, मोहब्बत के हिसाब से। इसलिए ये मदारिस अल्लाह के नबी की सुन्नतों को वो जिंदा करने की कला है, ये दीन के वो किले हैं। जैसे किसी मुल्क की हिफाजत होती है बादशाह के किले में रहकर, वहां से अहकामात सब जारी होते हैं, दीन के बॉर्डर की हिफाजत होती है। खुदा की कसम, अगर ये मदारिस ना होते तो आज तक दीन हम तक नहीं पहुंचता। ये उलमाए किराम भूखे प्यासे रहते इस दीन के खातिर, इस दीन को जिंदा रखने के खातिर, अगर कुर्बानियां न देते तो दीन हम तक नहीं पहुंचता। हमारे चेहरों पे दाढ़ियां नहीं होती, पता नहीं हम कौन से जहन्नम की आग में चल रहे होते। मन तशब्बह बिकौमिन फहुव मिनहुम, जो किसी कौम की मुशाबहत इख्तियार करे, हदीस पाक में फहुव मिनहुम, वो उनमें से हो गया। अलमरउ मा मन अहब्बा, जिसकी जिसके साथ मोहब्बत होगी अल्लाह उसके साथ उसका हश्र करेगा। हजरत गुस्ताखी की माफी के साथ मैंने अमेरिका 2 ही जगह गया हूँ, आपके यहाँ गया हूँ, डैलस में गया हूँ और यहाँ हूँ। एक आम बीमारी जो मैं देख रहा हूँ हजरत, आप जैसे बुजुर्गाना दिन अहले दिल यहाँ बैठे हुए, मुझे कहना चाहिए गुस्ताखी की माफी के साथ, जसारत के साथ कहना चाहिए, नौजवान मस्जिदों से गायब होते चले गए। मेरे शेख पीरो मुर्शिद हजरत मौलाना सैयद असद मदनी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, उनका मैं आखिरी खलीफा हूँ, टूटा जैसे। मैं इंग्लैंड में उनके साथ सफर में रहा हूँ, एक बार नहीं कई मरतबा। हजरत मदरसे के प्रोग्राम में जाते, मस्जिद के प्रोग्राम में जाते, बांग्लादेश के बेचारे बूढ़े बूढ़े लोग, ठिठुरती हुई सर्दी, हीटर के सामने बैठ के थके साफ रहे और तकरीर सुनने के लिए आते थे। हजरत फरमाते थे, बड़े दिल चले अंदाज में, भाइयों मुझे माफ करना, आज तुम लोग बहुत खुश हो, क्रिश्चियन भाइयों के गिरजाघरों को तुम खरीद के मस्जिद बना रहे हो, तुम्हारी नौजवान नस्ल कहाँ है जो इसको कल संभालने वाली है? तुम और मैं, हम तो बहुत जल्दी हम भी चले जाएंगे, कोई आगे जाएगा, कोई पीछे जाएगा, सब मर के हम लोग कब्रों में चले जाएंगे, इन मस्जिदों की इबादत किसके हाथ में छोड़ दिया? फरमाते थे कि अल्लाह के वास्ते, अल्लाह के वास्ते बच्चों को मस्जिद का रास्ता दिखाओ, दीनदार बनाओ, नहीं तो अल्लाह ना करे ऐसा दीन है कि कल यही क्रिश्चियन लोग आपकी मस्जिदों को खरीद के फिर से जो है गिरजाघर बना दे और उनके आबाद हो जाए, हमारे बर्बाद हो जाए। बड़ी दूर अंदेशी की फिक्र होती थी। मुझे अमेरिका में आकर भी यही लगा, नौजवान ढूंढ के नहीं मिल रहे मस्जिद में, क्या होगा इस कौम का? कहाँ जा रहे हैं हमारे ये बच्चे? ये मदारिस में नहीं आ रहे। अच्छे अच्छे दीनदार बच्चों के घरों में गया, उनसे पूछा, कुल सुनाओ बेटा, नहीं बोल सका। नमाज में क्या पढ़ोगे? जब तशहुद में बैठते हो, तशहुद क्या आसमान की तरफ देख रहा है, 15वीं के स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है, लेकिन दीन का ये हाल है। और दीनदार घराने में हम लोग तो ऐसे ही किसी घर में नहीं रहेंगे, ये हाल है। हमको आसाम में लोग मिलते हैं, कलमा नहीं जानते, या मालूम नमाज नहीं जानते। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आज से 20 साल 25 साल में आप हजरात के सामने अमेरिका यूरोप में दीन फैला और बहुत फैला। काबिल मुबारकबाद है वो अकाबिरीन जो जिंदा है या कब्रों में चले गए, उनकी मेहनत रंग लाई, सारे चेहरों पर दाढ़ियां नजर आती, अल्लाह के नबी की सुन्नत नजर आती। ये हमसे पहले के लोगों की मेहनत थी, हमारी मेहनत से क्या हो रहा है? ये मदारिस ना होते दीन नहीं होता, मदारिस ना होते इस्लाम बाकी नहीं रहता, मदारिस नहीं रहता तो कुरान बाकी नहीं रहता, मदारिस नहीं होता अल्लाह के नबी की जिंदगी, पाक जिंदगी का हमें इल्म नहीं। तो उलमा ना होते तो हमें कौन बताता अत्तिउल्लाह व अत्तिउर रसूल क्या है? खैरुकुम मन तअल्लमल कुरान व अल्लमल कुरान व अल्लमहु, हमें कौन बताता? बताने वाले नहीं थे। हमको इस कारवे को आगे बढ़ाना है, ये फैशन नहीं है, ये शहादत है, उल्फत में कदम रखना है। लोग आसान समझते हैं मुसलमान। सवाल बच गया?
2 मिनट बाकी दुआ के लिए बोल रहा था।
दुआ तो हजरत करेंगे।
दुआ
भाई वाखिर दावाना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रब्बिल आलमीन। हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश में दम निकले, मतलब तो यह तमन्ना कि तेरे ख्वाहिश पे दम जी। बिस्मिल्लाह अल्लाह
अल्लाह ताला की मदद के अल्फाज को मुबारक करे, हमारे लिए रहमत हो और हमारे लिए हिदायत हो। अल्लाह ताला हजरत को कायम दायम रखे, लंबी उम्र में आफियत के साथ हो, तौफीक के साथ ربنا تقبل منا ما كان صالحا واصلح لنا من كان ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا من شر امورنا واعذنا من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا. اللهم احسن عاقبتنا في الامور كلها واجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب القبر. رب اغفر وارحم وانت خير الراحمين. رب اغفر وارحم وبالشهر والسماء. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وفضلنا من فضلك. اللهم ارزقنا علم التوحيد وعمل الإخلاص والصدق. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى وتعالى الأولى. آمين يا رب العالمين. صلى الله على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الحمد لله.
Allah, I would like to thank our
Very meherban.
esteemed guest. Yeah, I mean, we want to for giving themselves with the life. And on behalf of ICF, the board that are thank everybody. Other than education, is food. So inshallah, after the Maghrib prayer, in about 2 minutes till the Adhan of Maghrib, there will be food on my left side and my arm on the left. To pass to the yeah, and we are passing to
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry.